Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most awesome dinosaurs to ever capture our collective imaginations. Number 20. Dilophosaurus. These Jurassic-era dinos possessed a very unique cranial structure, with two shaped crowns on top of their heads. The Dilophosaurus was the largest land animal during its day, a predatory killer that could move swiftly and gracefully to catch its prey.
Oh, nice boy. Oh, nice boy!
A mouthful of razor-sharp teeth proved deadly for anything caught by the Dilophosaurus, while its sturdy physical makeup provided this dinosaur with a natural defense against other animals. We truly feel bad for anything that ran afoul of this apex predator. Since there were likely very few who could hope to match the Dilophosaurus during the time of its dinosaur dominance. Number 19. Nigersaurus. The Nigersaurus may not possess as much name recognition as its more famous dinosaur cousins, but don't count out the coolness of this Cretaceous-era beast.
And shape of the muzzle as opening our eyes to the fact that there were dinosaurs that were in essence Mesozoic cows.
Teeth are the name of the game when it comes to the unique physical structure of the Nigersaurus, since its large skull and mouth contained over 500 of the things. These teeth also naturally replaced themselves around every 2 weeks, and were tiny and dense choppers that primarily fed upon an herbaceous diet of plants and ferns.
We think about cows and animals that graze today, mammals, as the animals that naturally would fulfill this niche.
The aforementioned head of the Nigersaurus is also surmised to have primarily hung low to the ground, in an effort, paleontologists surmise, to routinely scan the ground for food. Number 18. Compsognathus. Bigger doesn't always mean better when it comes to cool species of dinosaurs. The Compsognathus was a diminutive and agile animal with a name that translates roughly to pretty jaw.
Well, hello there. What are you? A little bird or something? Are you hungry?
Young examples of the Compsognathus were often found to be roughly the size of a chicken, although adults could potentially grow a bit larger. These quick hunters were predators, feasting upon tiny lizards and similar creatures as part of their carnivorous diet.
Not polite to sneak up on people.
There are also a number of reconstructed Compsognathus skeletons on display in modern museums, showcasing a unique distinction between the dinosaur's gigantic reputation and their smaller, but no less interesting cousins. Number 17. Pterosaur. Alright, so these winged lizards aren't actually dinos, but rather flying reptiles. However, they are cousins of dinosaurs, share a common ancestor, and have been portrayed in pop culture for almost as long as their relatives.
Flying reptiles, pterosaurs. Here on the beaches of North Africa, there are 7 different species of them.
The Pteranodon certainly comes to mind, as does the Dimorphodon. It's also sort of obvious as to what makes these creatures so cool, since the very idea of a flying creature just captures the imagination, right from the start. Basal pterosaurs could climb certain trees on land, while pterodactyloids sought out prey from both the air and water during the hunt. Many examples of pterosaurs also possess attributes more similar to birds than dinosaurs, such as insulary hair and feathers.
Their bones are extremely light, up to 90% air, and that makes the effort needed to take off much easier.
Number 16. Dreadnoughtus. The coolness factor of this dino is evident right from its moniker, which is indicative of a giant old-school battleship. The Dreadnoughtus was thankfully a herbivore, which meant that smaller dinosaurs needn't fear this 85-plus foot hulk descending upon them to feast.
Titanosaurs, 85 feet long and weighing 40 tons.
They're among the largest earthbound vertebrates to ever exist, and the paleontologist who discovered them, Kenneth Lacavera, decided upon its name to prove that the Dreadnoughtus feared nothing.
The Titanosaur's immense necks are supported by an ultra-lightweight, air-filled skeleton.
Whoever said that meat-eating predatory dinosaurs needed to have all the fun? The Dreadnoughtus was seriously impressive, full stop. Number 15. Pachycephalosaurus. The Dilophosaurus isn't the only dinosaur out there with a cool-looking dome. Enter the Pachycephalosaurus, a multi-syllabic tongue twister with a natural defense system on its head.
A herd of Pachycephalosaurs. Bizarre creatures with thick, dome-shaped skulls.
Specifically, the Pachycephalosaurus possessed a super thick skull roof that could serve as a battering ram, while also dissuading other predators from taking a big, dangerous bite. We use the word could because many paleontologists and historians actually question whether or not this actually took place.
He flaunts his colourful headgear. Trying to intimidate the youngster.
So, is the skull structure of the Pachycephalosaurus simply a cool-looking bone hat? Maybe, but either way, these plant-eating bipeds are super cool. Number 14. Therizinosaurus. Was the Therizinosaurus a prehistoric descendant of the man of your dreams, Freddy Krueger? It's easy to think so, thanks to those intimidating unguals, or claws on its forelimbs.
These Therizinosaurus hatched just 6 months ago. Barely 3 feet long, they are only a tenth of their adult size.
Thankfully, the Therizinosaurus was a herbivore, with this unique design intended primarily for gathering vegetation, while also potentially scaring away predators. Of course, the dominant size of the Therizinosaurus also achieved this goal, since examples of these dinosaurs could grow up to 16 feet tall and over 30 feet long.
An adult Therizinosaurus. It's huge, nearly 30 feet tall and weighing 5 tons.
So, although these clawed beasts didn't prey upon other dinosaurs, no tall trees were safe from the reach of the mighty Therizinosaurus. Number 13. Baryonyx. The Baryonyx is another example of a dinosaur, like the Therizinosaurus, with a unique claw shape on his forelimbs. In this case, however, it's the noticeable extended ungual on its first finger. This claw could extend up to 12 inches in length, giving the Baryonyx a distinct advantage when it came to hooking in fish, which paleontologists believe was its primary food source. Elsewhere, the Baryonyx also hunted prey on land, sometimes attacking creatures bigger than itself, while also occasionally scavenging when food was scarce.
Recent finds have shown that this strange group lived from South America through Europe to Asia.
The crest that adorned the skull of a Baryonyx also gave it a unique, almost crocodilian appearance. Number 12. Carnotaurus. The Carnotaurus was an adept hunter, a quick-footed dinosaur that could top speeds to 35 miles per hour.
It's the work of a 2-ton, 12-foot-tall Carnotaurus, a male.
The physical makeup of this cool-looking beast featured a thick head and neck area with equally dense horns placed on top. Some paleontologists believe that rival Carnotaurus butted heads together during combat, similar to what goats and rams do today. These fearsome predators also tended to run quite large.
At last, a female arrives. She's bigger than the male and more powerful.
Specifically, a Carnotaurus could probably reach about 26 feet in length and about 10 feet in height. Number 11. Velociraptor. Dino fans can obviously chalk up the popularity of this next entry to the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchises.
Eyes up! Go!
Both the Velociraptor and Megaraptor iterations have made appearances in these films, frightening and thrilling us in equal measure. The real-life size of a Velociraptor isn't nearly as big as those franchises would have you believe, however, coming in at a size closer to that of a turkey.
Time to be careful. Because velociraptors often hunt together.
Still, this doesn't mean that these quick and agile hunters couldn't stalk and kill their prey, often doing so with the sickle claws that were located on their hind feet. Number 10. Brachiosaurus. Belonging to the long-necked sauropod category of dinosaurs, these tall, titanic creatures are among the most famous members of that group.
This is Brachiosaurus, a 13-meter-high sauropod that specializes in grazing on the treetops.
Compared to their fellow sauropods, Brachiosaurus have more steeply inclined necks, which, thanks to their longer forelimbs and treetop grazing habits, means they were basically the giraffes of the Jurassic period.
These adults weigh over 70 tons.
Although it's unlikely that Brachiosaurus could stand on their hind legs as we've seen on film, their distinctive arched heads and familiar posture are now a mainstay of popular fiction, making the Brachiosaurus one of the most well-known dinos on this list. Number 9. Allosaurus. Another of the theropods, or bipedal and generally carnivorous dinosaurs on this list. The Allosaurus was one of the top predators of its day, taking down medium-sized sauropods and other large herbivores.
Allosaurus a 1.5-ton ambush hunter with a lethal bite. The world had never known a predator like it.
With a name that means different lizard, its body was more evenly proportioned than many of the other large meat-eating dinosaurs. That means allosaurs were better suited to running at high speeds, with scientists estimating that they could have reached up to 34 miles per hour.
Allosaurus, on the other hand, is a fast and powerful ambush hunter. Faster than Compsognathus.
Today, the Allosaurus is less recognizable than some of the Cretaceous period theropods, but had Jurassic Park been more period accurate, this dino could have been the signature predator terrorizing park guests. Number 8. Spinosaurus. Large and long, this long-snouted theropod was one of the biggest predators to walk on land, maybe even bigger than a T-Rex. Essentially, the Spinosaurus was a huge crocodile on 2 legs.
Spinosaurus. At 17 meters, the biggest killer ever to walk the Earth. An 11-ton colossus.
But its resemblance to those modern reptiles is more than cosmetic. Based on the high location of its nostrils and fossilized stomach contents that have been discovered, researchers have guessed that the Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic and likely specialized in hunting water-based prey, kind of like a croc.
Sarcosuchus, a giant 12-meter crocodile.
With a name derived from its distinctive spinal sails, the Spinosaurus, with its resemblance to contemporary reptiles, is a fascinating creature. Number 7. Troodon. Sometimes the smartest hunter is the coolest.
Troodon may not look as lethal as a tyrannosaur, but fossil evidence suggests that these too were deadly hunters, surviving entirely on a diet of meat.
Troodon was a small, possibly omnivorous theropod dinosaur notable for having the highest brain-to-size ratio among dinosaurs, leading some to conclude that it may have been the most intelligent dinosaur, and its large, forward-facing eyes may have had something to do with its brain power, since it would have needed more intelligence to handle more visual input.
Separated from the group, this youngster has made a dangerous mistake.
It's also theorized that Troodon's big peepers allowed it to hunt nocturnally, which would have been handy, since it could be found as far north as the Arctic Circle. Despite its possible status as a genius among dinosaurs though, scientists estimate it would have only been as smart as a modern bird. Number 6. Iguanodon. The Iguanodon holds the distinction of being one of the first dinosaurs ever named.
Below him, a column of iguanodons stretches along a beach, grazing the edge of a dense forest. 1,000 tons of dinosaur are on the move.
And although it's similar in build to other herbivore dinos, it tended to stick out for other reasons, mainly thanks to its so-called thumbs, which took the form of spikes. The spiky digits are generally thought to have acted as a form of defense or as a means to break up tough plant growth.
Most dinosaurs can only crudely slice food with their teeth, but iguanodon are the first herbivores to have back teeth that can grind up vegetation before swallowing.
What's more, specimens of the Iguanodon have been found on nearly every continent, so it can claim to be one of the most thoroughly studied species as well. Number 5. Ankylosaurus. While many plant-eating dinosaurs relied on their physical size or strength in numbers to protect them, the Ankylosaurus's approach to self-defense was far more memorable.
One dinosaur that specializes in defense is the extraordinary Ankylosaurus. They are evolved to withstand attack even from giant predators like Tyrannosaurus.
Ankylosaurus was an herbivore with some of the most impressive natural defenses ever developed. Think equal parts dinosaur and modern-day tank. With a body covered in bony armored plates, a heavy horned skull, and a thick club at the end of its tail, Ankylosaurus could ward off attacks from many a massive predator. And given that it was alive during the late Cretaceous period, it would have faced some of the most notorious dinosaurs to ever walk this earth. Number 4. Stegosaurus. Slow in speed and in brain power, Stegosaurus may not have been the brightest guy around, but his characteristic spinal plate and spiked tail have made this lumbering herbivore one of the most recognizable dinosaurs out there.
A heavily armored tank with a deadly weapon at the end of its tail, known as a thagomizer.
The evolutionary purpose of its signature plates continues to be debated today, but the most prominent theory suggests they were for display, either to attract mates or deter predators, or possibly as a form of temperature regulation. Fun fact about its other memorable feature, the arrangement of the Stegosaurus's tail spikes is called a thagomizer.
The wound appeared to have been made by a stegosaur's thagomizer. the blow being so powerful it punched a hole in the bone of the allosaur's spine.
But scientists didn't invent the informal term. It was coined in the comic The Far Side by creator Gary Larson. No joke. Number 3. Deinonychus. Thanks to Jurassic Park, this dinosaur is what most people picture when they think of a velociraptor.
Clever girl.
Though the two are related, the Jurassic Park films and the novels they're based on rebranded the Deinonychus, probably because, let's face it, the name Velociraptor does sound cooler. But the real Velociraptor, as mentioned earlier, was only about the size of a turkey. Deinonychus, on the other hand, was much closer to the man-sized hunter dinosaurs with the wicked claws everyone loves to see on screen, even if studios still haven't given them anatomically accurate feathers. Number 2. Triceratops. Few dinosaurs have captured the attention of humans quite like this creature.
Many different species of dinosaur live in forests. Triceratops, one of the biggest in North America.
Like some of our other entries, Triceratops calls to mind a more recent animal, namely the rhinoceros. Its renowned facial horns and bony neck frill, along with its beak-like mouth, give it a great deal more personality than most other dinosaurs. While closely related dinosaurs with more horns and more elaborate frills have been discovered, Triceratops remain the best known and most popular, thanks to its depiction in popular culture as an herbivorous dinosaur capable of going toe-to-toe, or rather, tooth to horn, with carnivores.
Here we have one of the greatest predators nature has ever produced and one of the greatest defenders nature has ever produced, sparring off with some truly awesome weaponry.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Tyrannosaurus rex. One of the largest land predators to ever walk the earth, but not the biggest as we've already seen. The T-Rex was, as its name proclaims, the king of its day.
Tyrannosaurus rex. An animal to spark the imagination for all of us.
Some theorists have tried to dethrone it, claiming it was more scavenger than hunter, but the recent discovery of a T-Rex tooth embedded in the fossilized remains of a hadrosaur strongly suggests predator. Either way, its intimidating size, savagely powerful bite, and those absurdly small forelimbs have cemented it in pop culture as the coolest dinosaur of them all.
T-Rex has the most powerful jaws in nature and can bite with the force of over 5 tons.
What was your favorite dinosaur growing up? Let us know in the comments.
Can I touch it?
Sure. Just think of it as kind of a big cow.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.